Once upon a time, in a bright little kitchen absolutely filled with sunshine, there lived a very happy milkshake. He was swirled into a tall, clear glass, looking creamy, sweet, and just brimming with joy. His greatest happiness came from making people smile, and he was very good at it. He loved watching faces light up after the first delicious sip. But one afternoon, something felt different. The sun, usually his cheerful friend, was shining a bit too hot, making the air in the kitchen feel heavy and tired. The colorful fruits piled high in the bowl on the table looked a little droopy, almost like they were sleepy, and the children, who usually filled the house with laughter and games, looked bored and cranky. No one is smiling today, the milkshake whispered to himself, a little sadly. His creamy top drooped just a tiny bit. He watched from his spot on the counter as the kids let their toys fall to the floor with a clatter. They sighed and flopped onto the sofa, staring blankly at the ceiling. Even their favorite crunchy snacks, which usually disappeared in seconds, sat untouched on a plate. The whole house felt quiet and gloomy. I wish I could help, the milkshake said softly, his voice barely a murmur. He wanted so badly to see those smiles again. To hear the sound of happy feet running through the house, suddenly shake, shake, shake. A strange rumbling sound came from the corner. It was the blender, waking up with a funny noise. The milkshake felt a strange tingle ripple through him, from his strawberry swirled top all the way down to the bottom of the glass. It felt like a little spark of an idea. I know, he exclaimed, his voice suddenly full of excitement. I'll make myself extra special today. He imagined himself swirling with fresh, cold milk, doing a happy dance with sweet, juicy strawberries, and adding a tiny, invisible sparkle of pure love. In his mind, he saw himself beginning to glow with a soft, inviting light. Just then, the blender whirred to life for real. Into the pitcher went a cascade of fresh, cold milk, followed by a handful of the most perfect, ruby red strawberries. A scoop of creamy vanilla ice cream plopped in, and for that extra special touch, a secret little spoonful of love and magic. The blender whizzed and whirred, mixing everything into a perfect, creamy, pink concoction when it was poured into the tall glass. The milkshake looked even more wonderful than he had imagined. He was glowing. When the kids padded back into the kitchen, their eyes grew wide with surprise. Wow, what is that? One of them asked, pointing a curious finger. The milkshake, now shimmering with a gentle, happy light, practically giggled. If he could talk, he would have said, "Try me." One of the children picked up the glass. Their small hands wrapped around its cool surface. They took a small, hesitant sip, and suddenly, like a switch had been flipped, a smile appeared. Then another, laughter, real and joyful, filled the once quiet room. The energy returned as if by magic. The kids were no longer bored or cranky. They started to play, to laugh, and even to dance around the kitchen table, their feet light and happy. This is the best milkshake ever, they cheered between giggles and sips. The milkshake felt a warmth spreading through him that had nothing to do with the hot sun. It was the warmth of happiness, of a job well done. He had done it. He had saved the day from the grumpy glooms. He had turned a dull, tired afternoon into a celebration. As the sun finally began to set, casting long, golden shadows across the floor, the kitchen was once again filled with peace. But this time it was a happy, contented peace. The milkshake, now nearly empty, whispered to himself, sometimes a little sweetness is all the world needs. And from that day forward, in that little house, whenever someone felt a bit tired, or a bit sad, or a bit grumpy, they would remember the magical milkshake. They remembered how he turned an ordinary day into an extraordinarily happy one. And they knew that a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of care, and a whole lot of love could make everything better. This little story reminds us that even small acts of kindness can have a huge impact. Just like the milkshake, we all have the power to bring a little sunshine into someone's day. Maybe it's a smile, a kind word, or sharing something sweet. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Think about it. What's your magical milkshake? What's the little thing you can do to spread some joy today? It could be as simple as telling a funny joke, giving a compliment, or sharing a snack with a friend. These small things create ripples of happiness that can change the entire mood of a room. Or even a whole day. Every single person has a unique recipe for kindness inside them. For the milkshake, it was strawberries and milk. For you, it might be your sense of humor, your listening ear, or your artistic talent. The key is to share it. Don't wait for a special occasion. That tired afternoon in the story could be any day. The bored kids could be anyone, a friend, a family member, or even yourself. When you see someone in need of a little pick-me-up, think of the milkshake and its sparkly glow. Be the reason someone smiles today. So let's all try to be a little more like that happy milkshake. Let's look for opportunities to add a dash of sweetness to the world around us. Let's turn ordinary moments into magical ones. Because as our creamy friend discovered, a little bit of sweetness and a whole lot of love is often the most powerful magic of all. Thank you so much for joining me for this sweet story. If it made you smile, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more heartwarming tales. See you next time.